Okay, so from the last session, we just concluded by saying that all um all outputs from executed commands in your script are displayed in the console, except two kinds of outputs. If the output is a graph, it's displayed under your plot. If the output is an interactive table, those type of tables you see on journals, it's displayed in your viewer. Apart from those two, all other outputs are displayed in your console. Is everyone okay with that explanation now?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move to quadrant 3. So like I said, the files tab in your quadrant 3 is where all the files, all documents that are related to your particular project that you're working on are stored. It means your project, your R script, your data sets, whatever thing you save within that project folder, you can see them under files. We'll see how to create a project soon. And then we've already explained plots is where all graphical outputs are seen. And then I mentioned packages are where all the package you've downloaded to your system, you can see all of them outlined in this place. You can notice that there is a tick box by the side of each package. And you can notice that some of them are ticked. You can see this base is ticked. So when a package is ticked, it means it is currently operational in your RStudio, in the RStudio that you're working on. If it's ticked, it's currently operational. So that means base R packages are currently operational in this place. Let me see if there are others that are ticked. You can see this one called data sets is also ticked. It means it is currently operational. You can see this one, deployer, is also ticked. It also means it is currently operational. So the ones that are not ticked, I have them in my system, but before they can be functional in my RStudio, I have to load them. We're going to look at loading, installation and loading of packages later. Okay. Then I mentioned help. Help is where you ask R about to explain maybe a function or a package or something. So let me say, for example, I don't understand what the function means in R. So I'll just type a question mark and then I'll write the name of that function. And then I'll run the command. So Control Enter. You can see here, R first defines what that function means. It first tells us what package that function is stored in. So it's telling me that main is stored in the base R package, right? And then it gives me a definition, a description, which is this. And then it shows me how to use the main. It tells me about arguments within the function. And then at the end, it even gives me examples of how to use that function. So you can do that for any function in R that you don't understand how to use. I'll give us another example. So let's say the function table. So T-A-B-L-E. And then I'll do Control Enter. So if you look here, R is telling us there are two tables it has. It says one is in the package base. Can you see that here? And then it says the other one is in the package vectors, that's VCTRS. So sometimes some functions might be in two different packages. Sorry, some function with the same name can appear in two different packages. So it depends on the one you want to use. So let's assume I wanted the one in base. I will just click this one, and then it will tell me about this table function. To describe it for me, tell me its usage, tell me about the arguments, and at the end, it will show me examples of how to use the function table. Does that make sense to us?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Then we move to viewer. I said
Yes.
viewer is the place where you get the output for interactive tables. Those kind of tables you see in journals. That's where you get the output here. And then presentation is not really very important for us. Okay, let's move to the fourth quadrant. The fourth quadrant has like 4 tabs. Number 1 is the environment. So the environment is where R stores objects. Whatever objects, so R works with objects. So let me just show you what I mean. So all the codes that you will ever write in R will follow this foundational principle. So you have a function in brackets object. So all the codes you write in R will just be follow this template. You write the function, and then in brackets, you put the object. So I'll give you an example of what I mean by function and object. So let's assume I want to say mean. Mean is a function, and then I put 5, 10, 20. So the object is this within the brackets, and then the function is this mean. So what I'm asking R to do is to find the mean of these numbers. So whatever is inside the bracket is the object. So if I save anything in R as an object, it will appear in this place called environment. We will see how to do that when we get to that stage, right? Okay. So history is where R stores all the codes that you have typed. You can see this last code that we typed, this question mark table is here. Question mark mean is here. The code I ran to create this table here is here. The code, this table I ran to create this table in the console, this one. So any code you type, either in the script or in the console, R will keep a record of them in your history tab. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then connections is where you can connect R either maybe to the internet or to other statistical software packages in order to get information from them. Maybe let's say there's a data set you want to get from the internet. You can connect R via this connection tab to the internet and get that data set into this place. Or maybe you want to get some data set from SPSS or Stata. You can connect that through this tab and get those data inside RStudio, okay? And then last is our tutorial. So R also has self-paced tutorial that you can follow if you want to learn more about R, okay? So that's, in summary, the RStudio environment. Have any questions regarding this? Hello, anyone? Any questions?
No, sir.
None.
None from me.
So do I assume we completely understand the RStudio environment and all the tabs that are here? Do I make that assumption?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. By God's grace.
God's grace is already available, my dear. Okay, so let's move ahead. So the next thing we'll look at is how to create a project in R. When I work in R, I usually want all my work to be neatly arranged in projects. So let's assume I'm working on a measles project, for example. I'd like to create a project for that so that it doesn't mix up with other things I have in my system. So that each time I want to refer back to that, I'll go straight to that folder and that project and click on it and have only the documents concerning that project open up, rather than have, so like if you click, if your RStudio is open, if you've not created a project, if you click these files here, you see that there are so many documents, there's so many things that are inside your files. And that's because you've not created a particular project for that work that you're doing. So I'd like us to create a project right now for this course, right? So you will go to your desktop. So let's go to our desktop. And then we'll create a folder in our desktop and we'll call it DARP. So DARP. So data analysis and R programming. So you create this folder, right? Has everyone done that? Can I continue? Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yes, you can continue, sir.
Okay. So after creating this folder called DARP, you go back to your RStudio, and then you come to this first folder and you click on File. Then from File, sorry, please, can you mute yourself? Someone is unmuted. Can you mute yourself? So you go to File, and then from File, you see New Project. And then click on New Project, right? Once you do that, a dialog box will open, which is this, that has New Directory, Existing Directory, Version Control. Click on Existing Directory. Another dialog box will open, which will show you the directory you're currently on, but that's not what we want. So you go here and click on Browse and look for that folder you just created. So we go to our desktop, and this is that, right? So I double click this, it's open here. You can see folder is that, and then I click on Open. So you can see the directory has changed now to that. Can you see that here? So once this is done, I come here, I tick this box that says open a new session. I tick this, and then I tick create project. So once I do this, it will open up a new RStudio that is specifically for this project that we're working on right now. Okay, so you can see, as I explained in the earlier session, when RStudio opens, you usually see 3 quadrants. Can you appreciate that?
Yes, we are experiencing that.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Then I said you can come here where this icon that looks like a window overlapping another window, and then you click it, and then the 4th quadrant will appear. So you can see under these files now, all I have is the project itself. Can you see? DARP.R project. That's all I have under my files, these files in the third quadrant. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we have a script. And you can see the name of the script says untitled. So let's name our script and save it. Once we do that, it will save as a script, and that script will appear under this files, under this one here where my pointer is. So we go to files, just like you do in your Word document. You go to save as, and then you give it a name. So let's call it DARP revision course. And then we'll click on save, right? So can you see that R script has appeared here? DARP revision course. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And you can see the name of our script has also changed from untitled to DARP revision course. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we are now ready to start our work for this training, right? Okay, another thing I do apart from creating projects is that I sectionalize my script. And when you sectionalize your script, it helps you have a methodical approach to your analysis such that you don't miss out on anything. And then even when you share your script with some other person, the person can see your flow, how you started and how you jump from one session to another until you get to the end. Okay, so to create a session, you click Control Shift and R. Control Shift and R. Once you do that, it will bring out this dialog box that says section label. Then our first section, we'll call it title. And then we'll press OK. You can see it has created a section called title. Are you able to do that on your system?
Yes.
Okay. So
coming in.
I said you click Control Shift and R. Let me write it here. Control Shift.
Let me go inside the house.
Sorry, Control Shift and R. So you press these three buttons together on your system. Once you do that, it will open up a dialog box like this. And then you write the name of the title, the name of the section you want. So the first session we are doing is title, right? Okay. So we'll do the next one. So Control Shift R, and then the second one will be what? Install and load packages. And enter. You see, it creates that section, right? And then the third one will be what? Control Shift R will do import data sets, right? Then Control Shift R, the fourth one will be explore
data.
Data. Excellent. And then Control Shift R, next one will be what?
Cleaning and
Clean
manipulation.
and manipulate data. Thank you. It shows that you were part of the class before. The next one will be Control Shift R, and that will be what?
Analysis. Data analysis.
Okay, so we have our descriptive analysis. Then Control Shift R again. The next one will be what? Data visualization. Okay. And then the next one will be Control Shift R. We'll have our what? Inferential analysis. And then the next one will be what? Our what? automated reports
Markdown.
in R Markdown. Beautiful. Then let's just put another one and call it practice area, where we'll do any rough work that we want to do. Okay, so if I zoom into my first quadrant now, so you can see how my script has been arranged into sections. Now, the beauty of having sections in your script is that no matter the length of codes that are in each section, you can collapse it. So let's assume, okay, so for our title, let's start with name. So we're going to call this data analysis in R programming revision course, right? And then author, you put in your name. So I'm going to put R Malam here. And then dates, we're going to put September 2024. And then, I want to put your email. Just put my email here at gmail.com. So this is my title, right? So no matter the length of things I write under title, I can easily collapse it. Can you see this small button? This small arrow that's facing down. So if I click on this, it collapses everything I've written under title. So you can see at the end of the day, even if you have 10,000 lines of codes, everything can be collapsed into your 9 or 10 sections. You can see I've collapsed all of this. Can you see that? And then the usefulness of this again is, assuming I've written all the codes and maybe I want to go to a particular code. Oh, sorry, I want to go to a particular session. I can come here. Can you see this place where my pointer is? I can click here and it will outline all the sessions for me. And I can choose the session I want to go to. So let's say I want to go to the title. I click on title. And it's okay. So now this is useful if we had finished all our codes, and let's say we had like maybe 400 lines. That's when this one will be useful. Okay. So I'll zoom back into our 4 quadrants. Okay, so has everyone created their sessions?
No, just leave me first. Yes.
No, sir.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay. Okay, let's quickly wrap up that in 1 minute, and then we can continue. Okay, can we move ahead?
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Can we
sir.
go on? Okay, that's fine. Okay, so you will notice
Yes.
that some of these are written and appear in blue color and some in white color and stuff. So one peculiar thing about the R script is that whatever you write in the R script, R considers it as a code. Please, can you mute yourself? Can everyone mute themselves, please? Please, can you mute yourself, Chisom? Thank you. Okay, so whatever you write in your R script, R considers it as a code unless you tell it it's not a code. And how do we do that? To tell R that what you're writing is not a code, you will have to put a hashtag in front of that line. So you can see all these ones I did have hashtags, but this name, author, date, and email, they don't have hashtags. And that's why you can see this red, cross in a red circle here, because R is telling us that it does not understand this as a code. Can you appreciate this? So in order to tell R that this is not a code,
Yes, sir.
I will just put a hashtag in front of it. And once I do that, it changes the color of the write-up. And then R will not see it as a code, right? So I'll do the same thing here, put a hashtag, and it changes. So, but it might be cumbersome to put a hashtag individually. Let's assume I had 100 lines that are not codes. It might be, take a lot of time to do that. So in order to highlight all the ones I want to make into hashtag, I can just highlight all of them. So I just highlight all of them like this, and I'll do Control-Shift-C. Control-Shift and C, and all of them will become hashtag. Did we get that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Okay. So we're done with our title, right? So let's move to the next section, which is our install and load packages. But before we do that, let's look at what packages and functions are. Okay. Okay, so let's look at functions. Functions in R are, I will define function. It's like a tool that you use to perform a specific task in R. That's what a function is. It's a tool that is used to perform a specific task in R. And a function is written as the way you see this example here. So you write the function name and then brackets open and bracket close. That's how functions are written. You write the function name and brackets open and bracket close. Have an example here. So let's assume slice is a function. You can see that as a function name and then bracket open and close. But within that parenthesis is where you put in your object. So the object is what the function is supposed to work on, right? So I usually use tools, normal tools that we have to give examples. So let's assume a hammer is a function, right? So it means the hammer wants to perform a function, which means to hit something. What will be the likely object that the hammer would want? Anyone?
Nail.
Say it again.
Nail.
Nail, exactly. So hammer will be the function, and then nail will be the object. So that's how function object relationship work in our software. So you have your function, which is what is doing the work, and then you have the object, which is the material on which the function will work on, right? Now, let's move to packages. So when you have a collection of functions, they are grouped and called packages. So for example, if you have a collection of functions that are geared towards doing a particular thing, let's assume a carpenter's toolbox can be called a package. A carpenter's toolbox contains different functions or different tools that perform different functions but they are all geared towards making furniture, right? I can give another example. An electrician's toolbox contains different tools or different functions that are geared towards fixing electrical outfits or something like that. Does that make sense to us?
Please come again.
Okay, so let's assume, what are the kind of things you find in a carpenter's toolbox? What are the tools you find in a carpenter's toolbox?
Fine. Like tape.
The hammer.
Tape, hammer, very good. What else?
A pencil or chalk or
Pencil,
something. A
very
marker.
good. Marker,
It's
saw, good. So each of these things you have mentioned are different functions. When you aggregate them together into a package, they become a package of functions. So let me use our term to do this for us. So for example, there's a package in R that is called dplyr. It's a package in R, and it's a package that has tools or functions that are used for data cleaning and manipulation. So within this dplyr package, you have functions like
The
select.
network is kind of breaking now.
Can you guys hear me? So you have functions like select, like filter, like group by. What else now? I can't remember the other function, but that's how. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
we can hear you. Can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, so dplyr is a package in R, and it contains functions Guys, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
it's almost.
Yes,
Okay.
we can hear you now.
Okay, sorry, my network is a bit unstable. It's raining heavily here, and I think this class is almost ending, if I'm correct.